What's up, everyone? All right, so today something interesting happened. We had a stock that squeezed up on an algo spike that provided an algo scalp strategy opportunity. The stock goes from 80 cents up to $1, $1.50, $1.75, $2, $2.50, $2.75, up to $3. I bought it at $3.03. It goes up to $3.15, and then someone says, Ross, it's a buyout. And I said, oh, geez Louise, I don't want to be trading a buyout, so I got out. I ended up taking a $100 loss on it. Well, the stock trades kind of sideways, it pulls back a little bit, and then about an hour and a half later, it's halted pending news. The news release from the company, this was the headline, news release, the company responds to fraudulent press release. Okay, so they said today confirming that a press release issued on July 28th regarding a purported acquisition of the company was fraudulent and was not issued by the company. Uh-oh. This stock was up 250%. And as it turns out, that algo spike, that news headline, that PR, wasn't real. Now, I talked about this. This happened with Revlon once. It's happened with other companies. Either their Twitter gets hacked or the PR, the way they release news, that system that they have gets hacked. And all of a sudden you get this headline that is it's fraudulent. And so on this one, let's see, total volume today is 4.8 million shares. You have 4.8 million shares of volume that went through on this thing. So, obviously there's a buyer to every seller, so it's a matched order, but there's a lot of volume that took place. There's a lot of people that were able to sell this stock at a 250% premium. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, for me, I don't really consider this, this unfortunately just happens sometimes in the market. Not really a super big risk factor of getting caught in something like this. The fact is, we never hold stocks that are buyouts. We may take a trade as it spikes up to the buyout level, but then once we realize it's a buyout and it's achieved that level, you don't really trade it anymore because it's like there's nothing to trade there. So I'm not really worried about getting caught in something like this. What can happen, however, you can sometimes have something like this where, a stock is going up 300, 400, 500%, and it's on news of, earnings or something like that, but it's not really that substantial. And the exchange will actually halt the stock and they'll ask the company to comment on the price action. And what often happens in this scenario is that the comment says they have no additional news to account for the move beyond what was posted. And the market generally receives that pretty negatively, and the stocks usually drop back down. That happens more frequently with NYSE listed stocks than with NASDAQ listed stocks. I actually haven't seen that happen in like almost a year. I haven't seen it happen in quite a long time. Maybe it's happened, but I haven't seen it. And it usually would happen on a stock that's up like 200, 300, 400%, either with no news at all or with very minimal news. Interestingly, PGY, which I ended up trading again today, up over 500% over the last week, hasn't gotten any halts pending news, and there hasn't been clear news that's been fueling the momentum. It's just been going higher. So, it's a little bit funny. Of course, that's a NASDAQ exchange listed stock, not NYSE. But in any case, we'll talk about it a little bit in the recap. I'll also go over the trades that I took today. So some interesting stuff. I hope you enjoy it. And I'm going to talk to you guys and share with you the Day Trade Dash software, which was launched today. There's a wait list for those that would like to join and start using it. Day Trade Dash software will give you access. It's essentially, think of it as a chat-only subscription. Chat-only subscription. You'll have access to my audio video broadcast, ultra low latency. You'll have access to the scanners, all the scanners, and you'll have access to our news feed, and you'll have access to a standalone Day Trade Dash chat room, which I'll be in, but is separate from the Warrior Pro chat rooms. So you guys can check that out. There'll be a link right down below to join the wait list. We'll be giving out some discounted pricing for the launch of that new software for the general community. Warrior members are already using it. So some exciting stuff there, and I will see you guys back at it first thing tomorrow morning for the morning show. All right, I'll see you then. All right, so why don't we start with going over, we'll start chronologically. So we'll start with BTTX. All right, so BTT, oh, look at this. Look at this. PTPI responds to fraudulent press release today. Confirmed the press release issued on July 28th regarding a purported acquisition of the company was fraudulent and not issued by the company. The company is not party to any such acquisition and has reported fraudulent activity to the NASDAQ. All right, so PTPI. So here's what happens: algo spike, right? This is a perfect example. We talked about this. We talked about this in the classes. So I'm actually going to grab a screenshot of this here. I'm going to rearrange this here for a second. So of course, when it resumes, it's going to sell off hard. It's going to go back to like 80 cents. All right, so it spikes up here, started selling off, and then it got halted. All right, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Grab a screenshot. So here's the problem. We talked about this exact scenario in class. You have a news headline and you have algos that get the news headline. So they get the news and they immediately respond. The stock immediately spikes up. 250,000 shares of volume. That's algorithmic trading. It goes up to 315. It dipped down here for a second, and I bought the dip because I saw the stock spiking, and I thought, I wasn't sure what the news was. Once I saw that it was a buyout, I just sold right away for a $100 loss. I was like, oh, well, I don't trade buyouts. I thought maybe they had like, phenomenal earnings, or they had a contract with Walmart or Amazon, or what I mean? Something like that that's like a really big deal. And that's why it was squeezing. Those would have been, viable catalysts to look for a move higher. In any case, so the algo got tricked on this. A headline was distributed and it was fraudulent. The algo was tricked. You got this squeeze here, and somebody did that intentionally, right? And they'll try to figure out who it was. Someone who, I guess has been holding this. The thing is, it's kind of like, I guess someone who bought a bunch of shares back here. They'll probably look at the people who accumulated maybe on some of these big days in here, somewhere in here, that would have had an incentive to get the stock to go back up to $3. I'm not really sure, but in any case, it's coming back down, and it has absolutely no purpose for it to continue to be at this price. So when it resumes from this halt, it's going to go back down to $1. It's going to go right back down to $1. It's probably going to open a lot lower, and it's just going to, be a big drop. So this is something that can happen from time to time. We haven't seen this happen in a while, but it can happen. So now that it was halted on news, response to what they say is a fraudulent press release. So over on the NASDAQ website, they'll post a resumption time. I don't know if they'll resume it in, your standard, whatever, just a regular time later today, because they'll just wait for the news to be disseminated, or if they'll keep it halted and switch to a T12, halted pending investigation. They could do that. I don't know. So let's just check the halt code right now. So the halt code on this is, where's this? PTPI. So it's halted on T1, which is halted pending news. T2, news has been released and has begun the dissemination process. So we'll see what happens. This could switch to a T12, or it may resume and resume way, 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 way lower. All right, so that's some risky stuff there. What can you do to avoid something like that? Well, there's not much you could do to avoid it. The fact is, there was no trade in this. As soon as I realized that the headline, that the catalyst was a buyout, I wasn't interested. But remember how I talked about, this is a very quick due diligence process. The stock is immediately squeezing up 258%. I pull it up, it's trading, hits a high 315, it pulls back for a moment to 272, it curls back up, I jump in 1,000 share starter at about 3, it hits a high at 315 again, double top, and then someone said, hey, it's a buyout, and it's at 325, and I said, oh, okay, then I'm just gonna sell it, got out. So the reality is I'm okay with losing $100 to be really quick draw. You know, if you're quick draw, you might have a couple misses, but as long as you're managing your risk well and you just jump right out, then it's okay. And so I feel that I certainly did that. But once you know it's a buyout, there's no more trades. You wouldn't trade anymore. But the people up here that sold 600,000 shares, all of these people that sold, well, you know, I don't even know. I mean, I guess they lucked out. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not sure. So anyways, you know, it's unfortunate that happens, but it does happen from time to time. So, all right. So that's PTPI. All right. So that was that trade. So the first trade I took today was on BTTX. So on BTTX, this one was squeezing up this morning and I got in at 230. We had a little bit of an algo spike here. I wasn't really super interested in it, to be honest. I was like, only bought 3,000 shares, got in at 30. We got a squeeze here up to 41. Only took 2 cents of profit on it. It just was like, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I just don't really like it. It just doesn't feel trustworthy. So left that one alone after that one trade. TBLT news comes out. I think it was 8:30. Starts squeezing up here right at 8:30. Micro pullback. There were a lot of opportunities on this. Micro pullback right there. Continuation here up to 540. Micro pullback hits a high of 560. Double top breaks through that level up to the high. At the open, you got another trade here up to 581. And then a nice trade up in this area, right in here, right in here. A lot of good opportunities on it. I under traded it. I only made $1,400 on it, but that's okay. Made a little on it. PGY, this was the last one. And on this, I took the trade on break of VWAP pre-market. That was right here. As it broke through VWAP, got in a little high at $20. It had just popped up from 19, but rode the momentum here, added on a micro pullback for the break of 21, and we got a squeeze up to 21.43. Then we got a dip off VWAP. I bought the dip, took profit, comes back up here to a high of 21.09. I closed the position before the opening bell, and that was it for me. So ended up selling off at the open. Today's a pullback day for PGY, but still strong on the daily and light volume pullback. So it may have more in it. HKD, this was on watch for a number of traders, daily continuation. Of course, the problem with this one, similar to PGY, large spreads, $1 a share. So you've got a fair amount of risk on it. And unfortunately, I don't feel that I can afford the risk. So not willing to take too much risk. So no trades on HKD. Saw Manoli had that one on watch, also tied from yesterday. Looks like it's pulled back, but had a nice move pre-market at 640 up to 179. So definitely had some opportunities on that one as well. So good job, Manoli, on HKD and TYD. Those were some good trades. And for those that managed to close in the green today, good work. It was risky. It was pretty volatile, but we had some opportunities. So that's what's important. All right. And those tuning in on YouTube, if you'd like to check out the Day Trade Dash software, you can join the wait list right here. We're going to open it up on, I believe, Sunday. So folks can be using the software on Monday. As a member of Day Trade Dash, you'll have access to a Day Trade Dash chat room. You can subscribe to an audio video broadcast from me. So it's the same broadcast that goes for Warrior members. You'll have access to breaking news, and you'll have access to all the scanners. The only thing you won't have access to is are the classes. But for those that want a chat-only broadcast, ultra low latency, you're welcome to join the waitlist, and we'll give you a link to join on Sunday, so you can have access bright and early Monday morning. All right, so that's it for me. That's my recap, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. All right, I'll see you then. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.